This is the best way to play Cyberpunk in 2025. I've got a load of stick for not liking this game over the years, but what I'm about to show you has completely transformed it. And I'm not just talking about these insane graphics. Better yet, you don't even need some overpowered to flip GPU that costs more than my shed of a car when you have the correct settings and mods. Once I've gone through everything you need to see, unlike other videos out there, I'm even going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to install this for yourself in the easiest way possible, so stick with me. So before diving into the gameplay improvements, we gotta first talk about the graphics. Cyberpunk was already impressive, especially on current gen, but this mod takes it to the next level and is often described as photorealistic. Some even say it looks like real life, and I do agree depending on the weather in game. In preparation for this video, I've tried a lot of different graphics mods, and what you're seeing here, Dreampunk 2.0, is my favourite. Playing this in 4K or even in 1440p is an absolute dream and is probably the best graphics I've ever seen in the video game. Of course, the drawback is the performance, but with my settings I'll show you later, I've managed to obtain a decent FPS, and at the end I'll even show you some alternatives that don't require a beefy GPU. But what about the gameplay? So first things first, vehicle handling. Before, I didn't really like it, although it definitely wasn't as bad as some people made out. This mod transforms the way vehicles drive and give them more weight when driving around bends. Instead of cars feeling more weightless than a drip of piss, it's one of those mods that you've got to try out yourself, as gameplay and words just don't do it justice. However, the next mod transforms the way Night City feels. Nova City population finally populates the map, making it feel like a living and breathing city, rather than a lifeless ghost town filled with blokes pissing with invisible dicks. The traffic density is noticeably superior, and pavements have far more NPCs walking about, and you'll notice far more peds outside nightclubs and popular places in the city, instead of it feeling more empty than my god to hell bed. This mod is an absolute must, but this next one makes combat and gameplay on foot so much better. The smooth movement mod might sound like a waste of time, but Christ, this sure does feel better than the base game. I always felt like the first person movement felt clunky at times, but this mod completely changes that. From this one comparison, just look at how clunky and rigid it looked before compared to how it looks now. It's a small mod that makes a surprisingly big difference, and when entering combat, you may also notice these badass animations as I draw out a weapon. The Always First Equip mod allows you to customize how frequent these animations play out when drawing weapons, and makes twatting a few gobshites even more satisfying. The map has been changed to a coloured version, and it's almost like a satellite view, which I personally prefer over the base game. This will be personal preference. Being able to change the weather, time, or even the god to crud clouds is another brilliant addition, and allows you to make the most out of the insane graphics. Loading up the game is even quicker than busting a nut for the first time in 48 hours, thanks to the no intro mod. And lastly, you may have noticed these utter beauties. I've only installed a couple of car mods, as I don't want to risk my game crashing like the clappers, and I also want the cars I do install to seamlessly fit right into the world of Night City. I have no interest in modding a Fiat Punto into the game that sticks out like a crackhead in a dentist. So how in the name of your nan's shitty display cabinet do you install all of this for yourself? Well, don't worry, I've murked away about 8 hours of my life I can't get back to make this as easy as possible for you, as modding this game can feel like a bite to the bollocks. Just before I show you how to install this for yourself, here is a quick word from this video's sponsor. When browsing online, it's a pretty good idea to use a VPN, but not any old piece of cack. You need the best one, Surfshark. Whether you're prone to going on dodgy websites or just innocently browsing the internet casually, yeah, sure you do, you filthy animals. A VPN ensures the stuff you want to stay private stays private. With Surfshark, all your internet activity personal data and IP address is encrypted, which keeps you hidden from any website you visit. Not only that, those of you who live in the UK like me, or even in the US, can't watch certain shows on your favourite streaming platforms as they are locked to your country. But with one click on Surfshark, you can set your location to anywhere, which unlocks various movies and TV shows you could never watch before, with the added bonus of it having a built-in antivirus and also being able to use it on unlimited devices. It's definitely worth checking out. If you click the link in the description down below, you even get 4 extra months completely free at an unbeatable price. Better yet, they even give you a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk in trying it out. Big thanks to Surfshark. Let's get back into the video. So first, you're going to need something called Vortex, which is a mod manager and will make your life a lot easier as it does a lot of the work for you. So make sure you download that first and just leave it be for now. Next, make sure you have a clean install of your game. Even if you've got a huge titted Pan Am mod, get rid of it. It needs to be a clean install, you filthy animals. So first, we are going to do what other videos out there normally can't be asked to show you, which is installing all the mods which allow the more tasty ones to actually work. So make sure you do exactly what I'm doing to ensure it god to hell works. So first, you need to get Red 4 extension from the link in the description down below. Download it and drag it into where your Cyberpunk is installed as follows. Next up, Red Script. Download this and drag this into where your game is installed. Codeware. Download this below and again drag this into where your Cyberpunk is installed. The Textures Overhaul mod. This makes a pretty big difference and it does have 2 different options. I personally went with the 4K version and again drag and drop. So now you want to open the mod manager we mentioned earlier called Vortex and just make an account if you haven't already on Nexus Mods, which is the place we've been downloading everything from. This then allows you to connect Vortex to your Nexus Mods account, so when you go into the next mod you need to download, which is Archive XL, just go into it, select Mod Manager Download, and Vortex does all the work. Now, if you are wondering why we haven't done that with everything so far, well, I ran into issues when I tried doing that, so I'm just showing you the exact method that was successful without you wasting countless hours like I did. Now that you have Archive XL, you want to do the exact same thing with Tweak XL. There is a link to that down below. And lastly, we have Cyber Engine Tweaks. Do the exact same with this too, and there you go. We've now finished most of the boring part. Let's now install the gameplay mods first, and you'll see why later on. The Vehicle Handling mod. Click the link down below, and we can use Vortex to install this by selecting Download with Mod Manager. Next, we have Smooth Movement. It's the exact same process again, and once you've done that, we can now install Nova City Population. That does give Night City whole new life, and once again, you can use Vortex to install this. Realistic Map, same again. Weather and Time Changer, Vortex again. No Intro, same again there. Now for the car mods, things are slightly different. For those who like the look of this tasty hypercar Lamborghini and want an easy life, this one is a piece of piss to install as it just replaces the Caliburn. Like we did about 80 times already, click the link down below and use Vortex to install this car. And when you call for the Caliburn, you'll see this tasty little number turn up, which is a true beauty. However, for those who want to install more car mods, this is how you can do it. First, click the link down below to get the browser extension mod, use Vortex to enable this, and do the same for the virtual car dealer mod, using Vortex again. In-game, if you can all the Larry shit you've been watching, you'll now notice the virtual car dealer on your PC in your apartment. This is where any new cars will show up and can be purchased. So for example, if we download this Lamborghini mod, which is bloody amazing by the way, using Vortex again, and copy this command line, once in-game, press F4 to open up Cyber Engine Tweaks and select the console, and simply paste that line of code like some stinky old hacker and load up your PC. Go into Virtual Car Dealer and there you go. Cupped your arm. Okay, so now we've reached the part you've all been waiting for. The graphics mod. For those with decent rigs looking to turn their room into a complete sauna or a war ground. and don't mind spending about $7/6, I'm going to show you how to set up Dreampunk 2.0. For those with PCs less powerful than a Tamagotchi, or just don't want to spend any money, I'll show you how to install a different impressive mod afterwards. Installing Dreampunk 2.0 is quite straightforward, although there are some things I'm going to show you which give you the best performance possible, despite running a hell of a demanding mod. So once you've downloaded Dreampunk from the guy's Patreon, link down below, you need to decide whether you install the HDR or SDR version. I'm personally playing on a 4K display with HDR support, but if you're not, don't worry, it's a very similar process with SDR. So first drag and drop the Dreampunk files into where your game is installed, and now we need to install Reshade. So click down below to download it, and copy the .exe file and paste it into where your game is. Now copy either the SDR or HDR reshade.ini file from Dreampunk into where your game is located. Load up Reshade, click Browse and go into bin, x64 and select cyberpunk.exe. Now select this DirectX version. Click Browse and select the Reshade file we copied over, and click Next, and boom, there we go. Now if you did install the HDR version like I did, there is something else you need to download. So click down below to this mod, and you will need to download it manually. Now once you've done that, simply drag it over to where your game is installed, and Christ, we're almost there guys. Now load up the game, and if your display is HDR, it might look a bit on the piss, but don't worry, we will sort this out in a minute. Once you're in the game, press the home button on your keyboard to open the Reshade. Now it's up to you whether you want to keep the depth of field or letterbox enabled, but I personally normally turn them off. HDR users now need to go into the settings and go to video, press the analog stick inwards to access the HDR menu. Now apply these exact settings to your game. This is very important. Now press the home button again on your keyboard to enter the Reshade, and HDR users will see this extra tab. Make sure to copy my settings, and after you've done this, feel free to play around with them as it might not be tailored to everyone's liking and displays. And there you have it. Dreampunk is successfully installed, and it literally looks the dog's bollocks. But it's very important you go to the timestamp on screen so you can copy my exact graphic settings and get the absolute best performance out of this mod. But what about those who have a less powerful rig or don't want to spend $7? Well, don't worry, I've got ya. Nova LUT 2.0 is an amazing free mod which again improves the visuals massively and is even easier to install. Simply click the link down below and install it with Vortex like we've done about 80 times already, and there you go, it's that easy. Personally, I would combine this with a reshade of your choosing to make it look more photorealistic like Dreampunk. I will leave some options down below, and if you're not sure how to install these reshades, just go to the timestamp on screen as the reshade process I showed earlier is the exact same. However, it's now vital that you copy the following graphic settings to ensure you get the absolute best performance when running all these mods, as you want to get the best FPS possible. These are the absolute best optimized settings for Cyberpunk, providing the best visuals with as little FPS impact as possible. One thing to note, frame generation is turned off because the Dreampunk instructions say so. I would however recommend turning this on if you aren't using Dreampunk, as I was getting an extra 10 to 20 FPS with it turned on. And of course, if your GPU doesn't support ray tracing, that will also be turned off. If your build isn't the best and your PC is really struggling, it might be a good idea to turn the DLSS mode to performance instead of quality, as that will give you more FPS. Here are the rest of the settings. So, what do you think of Cyberpunk with all these mods? Did this video help you out at all? If it did, giving it a like rating would be amazing, and I really hope you enjoyed this. And to see the incredible GTA 5 remaster mod that absolutely transforms the game visually, make sure to click the card on screen. You don't want to miss this video. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you next time.